So we have Deathstroke, one of the greatest assassins in the DC universe, taking on the Sith Lord Darth Maul. Who wins? Well, let's find out. Genetically engineered to surpass all human limits, once a soldier, Slade Wilson now works as one of the most feared assassins in the DC universe. He has frequently clashed with the Teen Titans, Batman, the Justice League, Green Arrow, and even gods. As a result of an experiment conducted by the US government, Slade Wilson became a super soldier, with his muscular system hardening and making him way stronger than the average human. He's even strong enough to cut a car in half with his sword. Slade is fast and agile enough to take on entire superhuman teams alone, and he's tagged Kid Flash in combat before, which is insanely impressive. He also has a nice healing factor, and can recover from injuries much faster than the average human. However, while he can survive gunshots and being stabbed with a sword, his healing factor isn't great enough to allow him to regrow lost eyes or limbs, which I guess you could have kind of figured out from his eye patch. Slade is genetically engineered to think 9 times faster than the average human being, which gives him incredibly heightened senses, reflexes, and agility. He's able to identify small changes in the air to signify a sneak attack, can cut a fly in half with a paperclip, can fight an entire ninja clan all by himself, and easily dodge point-blank gunfire. Deathstroke is an exceptional fighter, and is an expert in unarmed combat, as well as with melee and ranged weapons. He now goes into battle wearing the Icon suit, which is powered by his kinetic energy and is bulletproof, and even capable of taking punches from Kal-El. He also carries a Prometheum broadsword that is more durable than titanium, a nearly indestructible bow staff that can discharge a powerful energy blast in various handguns, rifles, explosives, and bladed weapons. In short, Deathstroke is the DC's premier mercenary and assassin. Then in the corner of Darth Maul. As Zabrak from Dathomir, Darth Maul was the first Sith apprentice of Darth Sidious. Wielding a double-bladed lightsaber, Darth Maul was sent to fight the Jedi Knights Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi during the invasion of Naboo. Even though he was defeated by Kenobi and believed dead, the fallen Sith apprentice returned years later during the Clone Wars to seek revenge. In the beginning of his career, Darth Sidious trained Maul as an assassin, rather than a true Sith apprentice, and as such focused primarily on lightsaber fighting and physical combat, and not as much on Force techniques. Maul is a master of the 7th lightsaber form, Juyu, which allows the user to harness the most volatile emotions into powerful, aggressive strikes that are intended to overwhelm an opponent's defenses and knock them off balance. Maul is able to maximize the effectiveness of Juyu by channeling his inner darkness and anger, which, coupled with his impressive strength and blinding speed, make Maul an overwhelmingly powerful opponent for even the strongest, most experienced Jedi. I mean, the guy was able to hold his own against both Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, kill Qui-Gon, and even though Obi-Wan beat them by surprise in their first fight, Maul never lost to him again throughout the rest of the Clone Wars. Darth Maul is even skilled enough fighter to temporarily hold his own against Darth Sidious on multiple occasions. Darth Maul wields a saber staff, or double-bladed lightsaber, which he personally crafted for himself and was a true master with the blade. He would often just light one side if facing off against a single opponent, but would ignite both sides going up against 2 or more people. Darth Maul was always powerful in the Force, but no one really knows how powerful he was until he survived being cut in half, simply because of his immense rage and hatred keeping him alive. He is quite proficient with telekinetic attacks, as he's able to use force pushers and force pulls to collapse massive amounts of debris, or blow away a large company of soldiers. He's able to use the Force to choke against pretty much anyone, even skilled Force users like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and has been seen using the Force to suspend people mid-air and throwing his lightsaber to kill them. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I think the first thing we need to talk about is Darth Maul's lightsaber versus Deathstroke's sword. Because if Maul can just slice right through the sword, well then the fight is over before it even begins. It takes 2 swings, cut through the sword and then cut through Deathstroke. Well, I don't think it's going to happen, because Deathstroke isn't just using any particular sword. It's a Prometheum broadsword. Prometheum can be considered an equal to adamantium or vibranium, and has been described as undamageable and also capable of absorbing unlimited amounts of energy. Lightsabers are also sort of inconsistent when it comes to different types of metal. It actually has a lot to do with the melting point of the material and the density of the metal. The blade can't just instantly slice through something. It has to displace whatever material it is cutting through before it can go any further. That's why it takes so long to cut through something like a blast door. There are also several materials in the Star Wars universe that are completely resistant to lightsaber strikes, and I think Promethium would be up there with those types of metals. Besides being essentially indestructible, it has also been said to absorb near limitless amounts of energy. And I think all this ensures that it'll stand up to a lightsaber. Now both these guys are incredibly proficient and skilled fighters, and are masterclass swordsmen. Maul has fought against some ridiculously skilled fighters throughout the years, like Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Savage Opress, and Darth Sidious. And really, besides his fight with Sidious, have made it look easy. Now, Deathstroke is nothing to scoff at either. Slade has consistently trashed countless soldiers all by himself, and has fought against and beat some of the most skilled fighters on Earth, like Batman, Ra's al Ghul, Black Manta, Green Arrow, and Bronze Tiger. However, when it comes to solely sword fighting, well, I gotta put money on Darth Maul. Lightsaber fighting is his bread and butter, so that's pretty much all he's trained himself in, while Deathstroke uses swords, guns, and hand-to-hand fighting, and has diversified and split up his training and skills across all of these. And really, there's no way that Deathstroke is more skilled of a fighter than Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, and so Maul will be able to fight against him as easily as he did the other two. However, Deathstroke's greatest asset in this fight is actually the fact that he's got more diversity in terms of fighting prowess. Besides just his sword, he's also got plenty of guns and explosives on him at pretty much all times. He has thermal detonators that are powerful enough to take down an elephant, staffs that can unleash powerful energy blasts, and grappling hooks. Now the energy blasts will be easily blocked by Maul's lightsaber, but the bullets might actually be a bit more difficult. These aren't something that he usually goes up against, and bullets seem to be much faster than blasters, since you can see blasters coming your way, and you can't see a bullet. However, I think Darth Maul can still block these attacks because of his incredible speed and skill. It's also important to note that Force users don't simply move the blade in the way of the projectile, but they're actually precognitive and can see where the attack will be coming before it even happens. Remember when Luke was blocking lasers with the helmet on by using the Force during his training? Exact same concept. However, while Maul can block bullets, this might not actually be the best thing for him to do, because as the blade melts metal, it's going to melt the bullets as well. Only thing is, this doesn't rob the bullets of their momentum, so some of the liquefied metal will still splash on Maul. We've actually seen this happen before when Jedi went up against Tusken Raiders, who used primitive rifles that shot bullets. I don't think this alone would take him out of the fight, because the guy survived being sliced in half simply because of his anger and hatred, but it will teach him not to try and deflect these bullets. That really shouldn't be a problem though, because he has the Force. Maul can simply use the Force to block or deflect the bullets, and the precognition still stands, so he'll still see the bullets coming his way. Instead of using the blade to deflect them, he'll just use the Force. And that's not the only thing that Darth Maul can do with the Force. He can use it to push Deathstroke away, pull him towards him, pull away Slade's weapons, or simply perform a Force choke on Deathstroke. He could even just suspend Slade in the air and cut him in half, or manipulate his heart, all things that he's done before. I think the Force is the singular greatest advantage in this fight, and it's something that Deathstroke just can't counter. I think this is what carries him to victory, as well as Maul's simply incredible skill of a blade. Deathstroke can win a couple with a lucky shot, but for the most part, Darth Maul just has him outmatched here. Maul wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts, so sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos just this one every single day, and I'll see you next time.